All right, this is Ralph back with the final stream of the day. We won't be doing any streams tomorrow since it is Sunday, and I'll be taking Sunday off from social media, computer work for the most part. So, yeah, spend some time in other pursuits. But today, what I want to share is three of my favorite prosperity affirmations. And I've got three that I've grown with over the years. One is by a yogi from the Hindu tradition, came from Bengal to the United States back in, I think, the very early 1900s, may have even been the late 1800s. No, I think it was the early 1900s. But yeah, Paramahansa Yogananda. And this guy became quite popular in the United States as a teacher, taught during the Great Depression era, and built an ashram in California. And he has what he calls his idea of affirmation. Sometimes he calls them demands, and he has what he calls a demand for prosperity. And with Paramahansa Yogananda, his thinking is, and I just lost it here. I've got this open on Kindle. Kindle timed out. But in his book, Whispers from Eternity, Paramahansa Yogananda talks about the idea of making a demand of the God of your understanding. Now, most people don't like that terminology, but what I believe Paramahansa Yogananda means when he says making a demand, and I think we'll see that when I read this demand for prosperity, is that you need to ask in confidence, like a child would ask a parent. Most religious people, many religious people, when they are asking something of the God of their understanding, they don't demand, they don't really ask in confidence. What they do is they beg, and they don't really believe that the God of their understanding has time to listen to their pleas. And so they beg, please, God, please do this, or please deliver me from that, or please, please, please. And it's like they're begging on their knees. And with Paramahansa Yogananda's spirituality, his idea of his way of thinking about these things is like we have to ask in confidence, like a child would ask something of a parent. And this goes back to the teachings of Jesus, in the Sermon on the Mount. You who are evil, you know how to give good things to your children, right? When they ask for something, they ask for a loaf of bread, you don't give them a rock. They ask for a fish, you don't give them a poisonous snake. No, if you who are evil, you know how to give good things to your children when they ask, how much more will your heavenly Father give good things to you when you ask in confidence, like an earthly child will ask their earthly parents in confidence, knowing that, okay, if anybody's going to do this for me, it's going to be this person right here. It's going to be my earthly father, my earthly mother. Most children, at least early in their lives, they have that level of confidence. We need to have this same level of confidence when we're talking to the higher power of our understanding. And yeah, Paramahansa Yogananda calls this making a demand. But I believe a better translation of this might be asking in confidence. So, with that being said, let's get into this affirmation, which is a demand for prosperity from the book Whispers from Eternity, written by Paramahansa Yogananda probably about 100 years ago. So this is an oldie. But yeah, in this demand, he says, Thou art my Father. I am thy child. Thou art the Spirit. I am made in thy image. Thou art the Father who owns the universe. good or naughty, I am thy child, and as such have the right of possession over all things. But I have been truant and wandered away from thy home of cosmic plenty. Help me to learn first to identify my consciousness with thy universal consciousness. Rescue my consciousness, shipwrecked on the tiny island of the body. Expand me and make me feel that I am again thy image. And when by thy grace I find that, like thee, I am everywhere, then I shall have dominion over all things, just as thou hast. Napoleon Hill, in his book, Think and Grow Rich, the chapter on how to grow faith, he says that it is important to have faith in two things at the same time. Faith in yourself, faith in the infinite. And here Paramahansa Yogananda he's writing before, I believe before Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill may have gotten some of his ideas from Paramahansa Yogananda, but they were roughly contemporaries. But yeah, this is what Paramahansa Yogananda is talking about here. Identifying as a child of the God of your understanding. Treating the God of your understanding as if it is a very part of you, and learning to identify your own level of being, your own level of consciousness with the level of being and consciousness that you ascribe to the God of your understanding, whatever understanding that may be. And yeah, I believe they're coming from two different traditions, but yeah, they're saying essentially the same thing. You know, Jesus, Paramahansa Yogananda, Napoleon Hill, believe that you are a child of the divine source and ask in confidence, believing that the divine source is hearing you, believing that the divine source will answer you, and believing that you are already surrounded by the answer to your prayer. And if you're able to ask in that level of confidence, then yeah, I believe that it's possible to move mountains with that level of confidence, that level of faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith in the infinite, whatever that may be for you. So that's a rather lengthy affirmation by Paramahansa Yogananda. Now, another one that I like, this one is a lot easier. I can read it on a note card. It's about 2 sentences. Well, actually, one very long sentence. But Bob Proctor's affirmation for the manifestation of money. And this one speaks to me because we've had some experiences lately that have taught me the importance of having multiple streams of income. And that's what Bob Proctor hits the nail on the head in this affirmation. Getting money from multiple sources of income. And yeah, Bob Proctor's affirmation for money. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuing basis. You can find this affirmation on YouTube. It's in 1 hour loops, 8 hour loops, 10-hour loops. You can play this thing to run in your sleep. And yeah, you can really get it fashioned in your head, fixed in your head, that yeah, you are so happy and grateful now that money comes to you in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Yeah, you feel it as if it is already done. It is already done for me right now. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities. Because when Bob Proctor wrote this affirmation, inflation was already a thing, okay? The US dollar, the value of the dollar has been declining on a steady rate ever since 1913 to present day. And when Bob Proctor wrote this little affirmation, inflation was already a thing. So he knew it was wise to be growing multiple sources of income in increasing quantities, through multiple sources on a continuing basis, because inflation was not going away during the days of Bob Proctor. And now, with the inflation rate that we're seeing, we know inflation is not going away. We hope we can bring it back down to 2%. But man, you really have to be out there moving. This is not about being greedy. This is about at least trying to keep up with inflation. You have to be growing your income on a continuous basis, not just going to the boss once a year and asking for a 25-cent an hour raise, but giving yourself a 25-cent an hour raise on a weekly basis if you feel that is something you can accomplish in your own home business life. But yeah, we've gone through an experience now where we've had two really good sources of income, and I was kind of half-heartedly trying to grow a third. And but we had two really good sources of income that were doing well, and I thought, why do we have to focus on growing a third, fourth, or fifth stream of income? Why not just kind of put those things on the back burner and keep our two primary sources of income growing and doing well? Well, things were going good even through 2020 with our two primary sources of income. We were really doing great business because our clients were prosperous. They were doing well. And then 2022, 2023, we began to see things kind of take a nosedive. One of the platforms that we worked with started, they didn't work updating their business. They didn't really try to keep up with the times. They were running on some old programming, and only now have they begun to update to keep up with the present reality. But yeah, that business began to slip. We were not really entrepreneurs in that business. We were really intrapreneurs, still are intrapreneurs, but people that work with another company independently, kind of as subcontractors. But a lot of the business that we get is through that primary company. So when they're doing well, we're doing well. When they begin to slip and not do so good, our business also tends to suffer. And then our private business, which is the same thing that we do with this other company, but doing it privately one-on-one with clients that have found us, clients that like dealing with us on a regular basis, that began to slow down too because of the economy. And we had to make adjustments. We had to kind of work with our clients a little bit more to help them become a little bit more prosperous and to update, their business life, update their own personal life. But yeah, all that took a hit back in 2022. And we began to see the importance of having more than just one stream of income, more than having two streams of income, really having multiple streams of income. And when I first read this money affirmation by Bob Proctor talking about increasing quantities of money through multiple sources on a continuous basis, my first thought was, boy, that guy is kind of greedy, isn't he? But then I began to realize this is not about greed. This is about just keeping up with things. This is about thriving. This is about doing more than just keeping up with things. This is about thriving. And if you want to thrive, then you have to be concerned about growing multiple sources of income and updating them on a continuing basis. Everything that Bob Proctor states right here. And so now, yeah, I've changed my mindset. We've gone from 2 good sources of income to 3 fairly good sources of income. And now I'm wanting to grow 2 more good sources of income. And man, it's keeping me busy. But I know once I get 5 of these income streams grown to the point where we want them to be, we will have that level of freedom that we used to have back in 2020, where I felt like, yeah, everything's going to pot in the rest of the world, but things are going our way. And that was a great feeling to have. It was like, man, I'm so blessed. We are too blessed to be stressed. But man, it's like, wow, things changed. I didn't change with them. And now I'm learning. Update my mental software and update my own mental programming and change the present reality by updating my current mindset. And yeah, I can see the wisdom now in growing multiple streams of income, through multiple sources in increasing quantities on a regular basis, a continuing basis. So yeah, you can state that in multiple different ways, but I love that Money Manifestation by Bob Proctor. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuing basis. Now, the last affirmation I want to share, and this one is super simple. This comes from a guy by the name of Dr. Pillai, and you can find him on YouTube. He's a guru from the same kind of thinking tradition as Wayne Dyer. And a lot of people tend to identify him with, one of Wayne Dyer's early teachers. I don't know if he actually was, but you can see the similarities in thought. And what Dr. Pillai says, he's got a lot of very beautiful mantras in Sanskrit. And he teaches those mantras. But he also teaches that, the God of your understanding speaks your language. Mantras don't have to be in Sanskrit. They don't have to be in some exotic language or a language that's exotic to you. It can be in your native language. And so he tells the story about how he worked with a man to bring him from being a 6-figure earner to becoming a millionaire. And he gave him a Sanskrit mantra. They said, repeat this over and over again. Do this on a daily basis, regular basis, and this will help you to become a millionaire. And the guy did. He took that mantra, and I believe it was about a year period that it took, and he realized his goal of becoming a millionaire. And things were going good. Then the millionaire set a new goal. He wanted to become a billionaire. And he thought, okay, I can do this with this Sanskrit mantra. But he hit a brick wall. He hit a glass ceiling. He couldn't really take the next step. So he went back to Dr. Pillai and he said, you gave me this mantra that took me from being a 6-figure earner to becoming a millionaire. Can you now give me another mantra that will let me become a billionaire? Take me to the next step, the next level. So Dr. Pillai said, sure. Just say to yourself, I am billionaire. 3 words, 4 words if you want to put it into proper English. I am billionaire, or I am a billionaire. But the way he worded it was, I am billionaire. And the guy looked at him and he said, well, yeah, that's super simple. Yeah, but can you put it in Sanskrit? I want something in Sanskrit. That last Sanskrit mantra, it really worked great. But yeah, I want this billionaire mantra in Sanskrit. And Dr. Pillai said, doesn't have to be. Sometimes we focus on Sanskrit because it's a beautiful language, beautiful, poetic, flowing language. Yeah, a lot of the Sanskrit mantras, you can sing them, you can hum them, you can chant them, and they do. They have a rhythmic vibration that It's just beautiful. That's why I love, learning Sanskrit now as part of my own religious tradition. But the God of our understanding, the God of your understanding, speaks the language that you speak. Doesn't have to be Sanskrit, doesn't have to be English. It can be any language that is your primary language. The infinite source of all understands all. And yeah, no language is alien. No language is foreign to such a being. So yeah, the mantra, the affirmation that Dr. Pillai recommends is something that you can make up on your own. We can just call this the I am affirmation. I am abundance. I am enough. I am good. I am awesome. I am a great marketer. I am an outstanding marketer. I am a life-changing entrepreneur. Whatever you want to bring into your life, you can tailor make an I am manifestation mantra, I am manifestation affirmation to tailor suit your own needs. So like if your goal is to become a six-figure earner, you can just simply say to yourself over and over again, I am a six-figure earner. You want to become a millionaire? I am a millionaire. You state it with confidence, like it is already a present reality. And the beauty of this mantra is that you don't have to read it off a piece of paper. It is so simple, so eloquent that, anybody can do this in any language. And it can have an effect if you allow it to affect you. It can have an effect if you allow it to affect you. And that's the power of this mantra, the power of this affirmation. Just simple, 2 words. I am. I am. And we use this to empower ourselves on a daily basis without really realizing it. How many times a day do you say something like, I am PO'd? I am so freaking PO'd right now. I am this, I am that, I am the other thing. And we bring that energy into our life, negative energy, unaware, using 2 simple words. I am, and then fill in the blank. I am, and then your favorite phrase. If we learn to harness that same energy, that same life-changing power in a positive sense, then yeah, we can make the I am mantra work for anything that you want to bring about in your life. I am a good parent. I am a good provider. I am an outstanding executive in this corporation. I am prosperity. I am abundance. I am whatever I choose to be. And just, use those 2 simple words. I am. Very powerful words. Old Testament, Moses asked God, who are you? God says, I am. Jesus, when he's being questioned by the Israelites about who he is in relationship to Abraham, in relationship to the Jewish tradition, Jesus just simply states, in words that almost got him stoned to death at that time, before Abraham was, I am. And Jewish tradition, early Christian tradition, the I am is taken as being the name of God. It's like, I am. And if we are children of God, we believe ourselves to be children of God, we have that same I am presence within us, then we can channel that energy. we can channel that directly from the source of all and just say, I am this. I am more than just my job. I am abundance. I am love. I am peace. I am harmony. I am understanding. I am whatever I want to grow in my life. Before I choose to grow it, I am. And just state it like a present reality. And I mean, this understanding is rich in the Jewish tradition, in the Christian tradition, in the Hindu tradition, in multiple faith traditions. I mean, these two little words, I am, are seen to be packed with power. And you can use them in English, in whatever your native tongue is, whatever language you feel comfortable, the most comfortable, whichever language is your default language. You know, I'm married to a lady from Honduras. Been married to her for 27 years now. My God, time flies. I think it's 27 years. Need to whip out my pocket calculator and do some math. But yeah, been married to her for a very long time. Her primary language is Spanish. And I've noticed, you know, when she's stressed, that's her default language. You know, sometimes when you're married to a person that speaks, you know, a different language as their primary language, it's like when they get mad, you know, it's like suddenly their German comes out. Suddenly their Gaelic comes out. Suddenly their Spanish comes out. And it's like I've noticed that, you know, we all have this default language. If you speak multiple languages, the language of your childhood is probably your default language. And, you know, the attitudes of your childhood, that's kind of like your default setting. You know, you become that child again in your mind. And yeah, so when you're doing the I am manifestation mantra or the I am affirmation, it's important that you do it for yourself, I believe, in whatever your primary default language is. And just tune into that. Let that tune into your own inner child and convince that inner child within you that, yeah, I am this. I am no longer this weak child that was hurt so deeply so many years ago. I am now a being of great power, a being of great resource. I am growing, I am becoming, I am a child of the universe, and the universe is not going to let me down. Cosmic Daddy, Cosmic Mommy, our godparent, however we understand that, is there for me and within me. And when we can see that both within us and without us, as a done deal, as a present reality, the I am mantra, the I am affirmation can be a powerful, powerful tool to use. And I believe its greatest power is really in its simplicity. It's so simple. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be a genius at memorization. I mean, the Bob Proctor manifestation, money manifestation here. One long sentence. For some reason, I just can't seem to memorize that. Maybe that needs to be my mantra. I am memorization. I am memory. But yeah, I find that kind of difficult to memorize. But the I am mantra, yeah, you can make that up on the fly. You feel a need to be empowered in a certain way. Instead of saying, I am pissed, say to yourself, I am powerful enough to face this opportunity, this challenge, whatever it may be. I am empowered enough to face this, and I am going to face it. And that can be very empowering right there. A very simple, on the spot, I am affirmation. that you can just make up on the fly, and become consciously aware of the negative I ams that we use daily in our life. Like I just said right now, quite subconsciously off the cuff, I am terrible at memorizing things. Do I really want to affirm that? Maybe for me, I should start saying, I am great at memorizing things. I think I can remember that. I am remembering that. And yeah, just use that I am mantra in whatever specific application you need. Use it on a regular basis and let that empower you. But yeah, 2 simple words. I am. It's been preserved in multiple religious traditions for a reason. It works. This is Ralph signing out. We'll catch you in Monday's stream. We're taking Sunday off. I am going to be taking a break from social media, and I am going to be back Monday. So we'll see you then. Until then, take care, and thanks for dropping by. Bye-bye. I am turning this live stream off.